What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Espresso, and welcome back to another Call of Duty 2016 video here today on the channel. Today, we haven't done one of these in a while, and something's been on my mind in particular that I wanted to discuss with you guys here today. So this one, what we're going to be talking about is the idea and the notion of another beta coming to Call of Duty 2016. Now, we're going to talk a little bit here on the business and not so much necessarily a lead or a leak pertaining to this because, well, it's quite too early to discuss that kind of stuff in terms of leakage, because we don't even know the name of the next title yet, nor an official reveal, let alone actually seeing information about a beta. Today, we're going to be talking about it in a standpoint of a more business and analytical aspect here as to what it can do for the title and the franchise overall. So for those that don't know, Black Ops 3 was the first beta that we had in quite some time in the franchise. If I'm not mistaken, all the way back since World at War, we had not seen a beta in the Call of Duty franchise, but it was brought back for Black Ops 3, and the only condition on getting into it initially was that you had to pre-order the game. It was later opened up to the public once the Xbox One and PC beta was open. It was opened up for everybody then, and I think actually on PlayStation 4 as well, but basically the whole gist was built around the idea that you had to pre-order the game to get beta access, which was honestly a great marketing decision here. So I want to talk a little bit real quickly about the pre-order numbers of Black Ops 3. Now, for these, the charts, PC was omitted here for this. So the total pre-orders going into the week of Black Ops 3's launch was 1,523,317. Obviously, that can go up a little bit here based off of the last couple of days before the launch, but the week ending before the launch of Call of Duty Black Ops 3, that was the total. It was split up amongst Xbox One with 780,734 pre-orders, PlayStation 4 with 627,333, Xbox 360 with 69,008, as well as PlayStation 3 with 46,242 pre-orders. So that's going to get your total here, but where does this stack up compared to previous years? As we said, the total was 1.5 million here to round that up for you guys, or rather round it down a little bit, but previous years, Advanced Warfare's total was 1,116,940, Ghosts was 2,192,329, and Black Ops 2 was actually just under the 3 million mark with 2,813,346 pre-orders. So I might sound like I'm kind of pleading the wrong case, doesn't it? With numbers being better in the past, not necessarily gaining too many more this year with Black Ops 3, might seem like the wrong message here, right? Well, perhaps it can be viewed as such, but we've got to keep in mind some variables such as consoles. The decline of pre-orders was first seen in Ghosts, not nearly as heavily, but it was there. Players, instead of having 2 consoles to choose from, they had 4 now at this point in time. So if you took a fan base of millions of active players, and instead of dividing them up into 2 sectors, it's now into 4 sections. That is a key role as to why this can decrease a little bit. Now, once again, PC is omitted here from this simply because some of the charts don't necessarily include the PC pre-orders, but 4 consoles really is where it's being divided up into as of Call of Duty Ghosts. So while it may not seem like a whole lot, players can be diverted away from the norm of numbers we've seen previously because of the shift in consoles, but another is the growing dissatisfaction with pre-orders in general. Right around the time of year when pre-orders aren't made live, the past couple of years, we've seen a large group of people openly protesting the idea of pre-orders. Why? Well, because in their argument, they don't offer much in the way of incentive, and it's a way for the developer and the publisher to take your money before you've even had a proper look at the game, let alone play it for yourself. So I'd be lying if I said that this force and this group hasn't been growing in the last few years, but they're also a major contributor as well. More people are starting to agree with this, so pre-order numbers in general are starting to go down, and that is a big cause as to why we can see in recent years at least, some of these have gone down as well. But the good news is, despite factors like this, and I'm sure we could list a few others, but they're just not on the top of my head at the moment, Black Ops 3 was a great stepping stone to the road to recovery, and a huge key portion of that was the beta. Now, perhaps this might come as a surprise to a lot of you, but back the week before the announcement of the beta, Black Ops 3's pre-orders were relatively still pretty low. Xbox One was sitting at under 500,000, and PlayStation 4 was just around that 320,000 mark. The week after brought a slight influx of new players in preparation for the beta, but to my surprise, the biggest influx of players was actually the 2-week span before the beta, the last second pre-orders here to get into the beta program. Both the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 combined for just over 91,000 more pre-orders in 2 weeks. So So if you want to look at that in a broader perspective, that's roughly a 10% increase in sales in a 2-week window. Now, this may not seem like a whole lot, but considering the fact the pre-orders were on their way down and a 2-week window for pre-ordering nearly 100,000 copies, the only week to top that in terms of pre-orders was the week right before launch. Now, this might seem like a pointless venture to some, but when you look at the graph of where the pre-orders came from, the peaks are in the middle of the hype and at the end of the hype, and which from a business standpoint is exactly what you want to see. Plateaus are nice if they are steady. Inclines you won't often see too much. Declines are obviously bad, but a quick jump is beautiful because it adds a lot more in terms of revenue fast and then creates a steady wave of inclines in sales. So while it may have been possible because Treyarch had their full 3 years on the development cycle of the current generation consoles, that could be one reason, or perhaps it's because they wanted to boost a little bit of the sales because the pre-orders have been on the decline. Regardless, it worked. We got almost 500,000 more pre-orders total out of it, which is something that as a business is something that Activision definitely wants to see. So now the real question comes down to, will we see it again? All these factors are in place that it can happen, and with the success of the beta and how many people actually logged on, there were apparently millions of people playing it once the open beta opened up here for it. That's something that it supposedly broke records here for in terms of beta play, and if that is something that can be replicated here to generate even more pre-orders for Call of Duty 2016, I think that it's a no-brainer, and I think it's definitely possible as for it to happen here. So that's going to wrap this video up here today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys so much for watching. A little bit longer of a video here. I just wanted to get my point across to you guys, and I think that it's definitely something we should keep our eyes out and open here for. But love to hear your thoughts down there in the comment section down below. What do you think? Do you think we'll have a beta this year, or do you not necessarily think we're going to be getting a beta for this next coming title? Love to hear your thoughts, but thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys did like this video, be sure to like, rating down below. And if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe around that road to 30,000 subscribers, so every little bit does help and is, as always, greatly appreciated. But mine has been Nikolai Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.